Hi, welcome to another episode of Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi. Businesses that want to scale have to think about automating certain processes in their business. But there are challenges to doing that, and there are certain reservations that all businesses have. Today I'm talking to Kalpana Arun, the co founder of 61 Steps. She's going to talk about what it takes for a business to digitally transform itself. Let's get right into it. Hi, Kalpana. Welcome to Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi.
Pleasure talking to you, Pallavi. Thanks for having me here today.
We are going to talk about digital transformation, which I know is a big challenge for a lot of organizations, more so for smaller businesses. But before we get started on that topic, why don't you tell us about yourself and your organization? What do you do?
Okay, I'm Kalpana, the co-founder of 61 Steps. We are a digital agency based in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. As for me, I'm a banker turned entrepreneur with education backgrounds of economics and management. And 61 Steps was started by me and my husband Arun in 2015. And that was a time when the digital tech world was growing at an exponential pace. And we started helping small brands with digital marketing, precisely something similar to what you're doing. That's how we started
Yeah.
because we know that was the buzzword. Everybody wanted to get into digital at that point. We thought, okay, let's start helping them with marketing, content creation, lead
Hmm.
generation. And eventually we did, follow up with them to understand what happened to the leads. Were they able to convert them? And if so,
Hmm.
which source were they able to convert? But they didn't have much of the data because they didn't have a CRM system in place. Most of them, they were
Yeah.
using data on multiple spreadsheets and different drives and things like that. So we kind of at the same time, we as an organization grew, and we are a 100% remote organization, and we had teammates spread across India and Tamil Nadu in general. So we were also looking for a holistic tool for us to do project management, for us to track tasks, for me to have a HR system in place, so that we
Hmm.
can, and team collaboration tools, like for like any remote setup, right? So we
Yeah.
understood that we were in the need, and all our clients were also in the need of having a cloud-based system to adapt to the digital trends at that time. And we started using Zoho initially, and
Hmm.
then started implementing Zoho for the clients.
Hmm.
We were able to implement CRM, HR, finance systems for them.
Hmm.
So we became partners with Zoho, and then a couple of other SaaS brands as well. And
Hmm.
eventually, around 2020, we started building solutions like business-specific problem solution in platforms like AWS.
I
So
see.
so we basically pivoted from digital marketing, and we
Hmm.
went into cloud SaaS implementation specifically, and we started building tools, and we are also in the process of building a product ourselves.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's where we are at as an organization.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you have obviously started with something, but then you have looked at what your customers need, and your business has also pivoted based on what you
Yeah.
think would really help them. Is there a story behind why it's called 61 Steps?
Yes. Okay. So it like the idea of having a business is something me and my husband, we've had it way before when we started 61 Steps. When we were back in college, we were doing part-time jobs, and we were putting together events for I think around the mid 2000s, where the Microsoft and so many tech
Hmm.
companies were entering the Indian market. So they had a lot of events at that time, and we used to be doing the event management, and we thought, okay, let's start something together. That was in mid 2000s. And we started it, but then I started doing my MBA, so I kind of had to drop
Hmm.
out all that and focus on this. And I went into banking, and eventually we
Hmm.
realized, okay, let's do something.
Hmm.
Corporate is not going to be
Hmm.
the long lasting. We realized we wanted to do something, and we
Yeah.
met a bunch of people in an apartment which didn't have elevators, so they had to walk. It was at the third floor. We had to walk 61 steps to reach that place, and we got inspired. So it's like a place to remember a bunch of people and some special moments there. So that's the story behind 61 steps.
Okay, I'm glad to know that for anybody to digitally transform, we don't have to take 61 steps, because that was really, that was the question that I had in my mind, that do I have to have 61 tools to achieve 100% digital transformation? But a really cool, really cool story. And I feel like, with entrepreneurship, everything is so exciting, and it's nice to have a background and a base to why you set it up. It's of course there's the
Yeah,
business side of it, but this is the personal side of
yeah,
what your
yeah.
company is. All right, so you've talked about when you initially started working with companies and you realized that they were not actually, you were helping them with digital marketing and they didn't really have a great way to track all the leads. And it's a common problem that I've seen with a lot of people, because marketing is great at bringing you leads, but if you're not actually following a process of converting them, and it's not a consistent process, and it's not a continuous process, obviously there's no benefit of those leads, right? Half of them will fall off
Yeah,
the table because you've not done anything with it. So you've gone into the
yeah,
CRM side. In
yeah.
your opinion or in your experience, which 2, 3 tools do you feel, that you would always recommend to any business? Like, what do you think is the first toolkit that somebody should have?
Okay. So, okay, I'm not good. Like, as Zoho authorized partners, like we started using Zoho, and when we started out, I think they were one of the first tools that came to our mind because of the price point and the breadth of products that they have in
Sure.
their suite.
Hmm.
So, but Zoho is just one among the thousands of other products. Again, so what people need to understand is they need to narrow down their requirements to the
Yes.
the most one with the highest priority, and they can just pick, instead of picking multiple things at the same time, pick one topic or pick one problem area, focus on that just to start with it, and then include the other automations at a later stage. So I
Yeah.
would say, just if it's a sales, if the brand is having issue with sales, I would say just start using Zoho CRM,
Yeah.
and then go from there and expand to other products and other areas of problem.
I like what you said, because of course, there are a lot of tools out there, and for businesses, it is quite daunting to think about. Oh, I have to automate a lot of things, and you can go a little bit overboard, saying I want to automate my lead generation system, I want to automate my HRM, I also want to automate
Mm,
my, say, ERP or whatever
mm,
other systems there are. Uh,
mm.
but as with everything in life, it always has to start with what is the problem that you're solving. And
Yeah.
I like the approach that you have, that you're not you're not giving a cookie cutter approach to everyone, that, oh, here's the
Mm,
suit that I have, it has a CRM, it has this, it has that, blah blah, etc etc. It
mm.
actually is dependent on what is the problem that you're solving. And I'm sure that you also
Yeah.
take into consideration their budgets, their company size, even their company locations. Like you say that, for a remote organization, of course it's extremely important to have a digital productivity tool, because how else do you
Yeah.
track what these 6 7 people are doing when they're in different locations? Whereas for a
Yes.
physical first company, maybe there are different priorities. The productivity tool is
Yeah.
still important, but there are different priorities. So I appreciate that you have that sort of approach, towards solving somebody's
Yeah.
problems. Um, what are the, in your experience, when somebody has come to you with the problem, and you've kind of helped them set up to digitally transform themselves, what are the key benefits that you have seen? What has really helped them by
Mm.
adopting tools?
Okay. So before going to the part of what happens after the digital transformation, so
Hmm.
it's a thought that they have that they need to improve, is step one. That's amazing. That's a benefit for
Hmm.
them.
Yeah.
Second thing is, only when they start to think, okay, I need to do something about my business, I need to bring in some latest cloud, IoT tools or whatever, they start realizing what is the requirement. It's like, for them to have, they introspect what are the exact problems. So I make
Hmm.
anyone who comes to me saying issue, write down your requirements, like
Hmm.
list it down, bring me a one pager, and you give me the priority ones. So
Yeah.
that helps them actually have a clarity of what they need. It's like, and then from there on, like we tell them to understand what is their budget and whether are they trying to solve a customer problem or they're trying to solve an employee experience problem. So like to answer your question on the benefits part of it, we either can solve issues related to how you are personalizing approaches to your customer and how you can improve their customer experience by using a CRM, having all the customer database interaction in one place, so that the employee, the management, everybody is on the same page when it comes to understanding what happened to a customer, understanding the lifetime value of the customer. So these are some of the customer point of view. The second thing is reducing redundant repetitive tasks. You can do simple automations that there are tools that are out there that people think it's too expensive or they think it's too complicated, but it's actually not, and with people like us, there are so many people who are in our line of business helping brands set up SaaS tools. So we can easily identify places where we can set up simple automations that literally are free. They don't even in free trial, so many businesses can start using them even without making any expense. So you can reduce a lot of redundant work by having these automation. And of course, employee experience again is a huge boost that digital transformation can do. Like if you're able to set up good HR systems, if you're able to set up good, even if it is a small organization, 10 to 15 people, tracking holidays and leave if they are on remote location is crazy, right? So if you're having a simple leave tracker tool where the employees know what are the types of leave they have, how many leaves are available for them, and who are all going to be off. If there is a calendar view to know that somebody is off, you don't take off the same day as per your teammate. So if you are having a simple tools like this, you can improve the employee experience, and that in turn brings you loyalty and productivity for the business. So those, I think, are the high level benefits. So I'm not going into the depth of the topic. I don't think we'll have the time for it.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
These are the higher level problems we've been able to solve for our clients.
Got it. Yeah, I've also started, using a lot of tools in the last couple of years as my team has grown. And like you said, they are different categories. So I do have a CRM, which from my perspective, I started using because it was really great for me to track all my contacts and where they are in their journey. I've also started using an HRM tool, and it's a very straightforward free tier tool. But like you said, it adds a lot of transparency to the employee, because the employee knows, okay, these are my leaves and this is when I can take, and like I have a compensatory off. So again, they know that, I have 2 compensatory offs in my bucket that I can use whenever I want. So it's, the kind of transparency. And of course, when you have additional things like, say, email marketing tools or anything else, the person who's interacting with you, whether that's a prospect or an existing customer, their experience and their understanding is also much more seamless. Like, even if you say have a sign up form, if it's not automatically redirecting you to where it needs to go and you have to click something else, or maybe you receive a WhatsApp that is manually sent, it's not great customer experience. So it does hinder people, it does hinder businesses from really achieving scale if you don't, if you don't use automation, if you don't use digital tools, right? Having said that, I'm sure that, and I think you mentioned a couple of the reservations that people have. What are the common questions or challenges that people come to you? Why are they afraid to, embrace automation tools? What is holding them back?
Okay, first is the most common is people resistance to change. They've been using a set of tools. It could be legacy softwares, it could be spreadsheets, it could be any other type of system which is not a smart application. So they are, depending on the age. Some people, definitely Gen Z and millennials, they've been able to, they know the value of it. They've been able to move past the initial resistance and get into the system. They know the value. But people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, some of them would be so used to a specific type of method of working, so they don't want to move. So that is the biggest hindrance. Second being budget, of course. So there's a cost that is involved if you have to have true digital transformation, in the sense it's not just one department, it's your entire organization. It's how you operate with your internally and externally. Unless you do the entire 360, you won't have the, in the true sense, right?
Yeah.
So for any company to achieve that, that's going to be a huge cost. So that is definitely one of the biggest hindrances. So like I said, people have to take one step at a time. So if you're a small org looking to grow, so you just take one step at a time. The other things are, so some companies would be already using softwares built in 2000 legacy systems. So if you're like bringing in a new software, it has to be compatible with that. There has to be data pushed between both of them. So there are a lot of times when people don't know whether to let go of the system, move on entirely. Again, that comes at the cost, and training people, how as an organization you are to bring how many software at the same time. And other things are, there are people who want to do it, but they don't have the knowledge for it. And it can get overwhelming for somebody to go and search for a HR tool. If you go to Google and search for HR tool, there are multiple. You don't know what is the best for you. You don't know what, based on your budget, what would work for you. So it involves involving people like a partner or somebody to help them understand the pricing and things like that. And then there are people who are first generation entrepreneurs who are like afraid that their data might not be secure if it goes completely online on a cloud platform. How secure is my data? So there is a fear of data being stolen. So those are some of the common reservation and like and internal conflicts, right? So the management wants one thing, but the users are the actual users of the softwares. So for them to have a consensus of what needs to be done, for them to come in terms with it and come to us, those are the common challenges we have come across at this point.
Quite, I could identify with all of those challenges. Probably not the one with the internal resistance to change. But having said that, like when I have introduced a system for my team, it has taken multiple tries to get them to use it as well, because obviously they have a way of working. But as a business, I need them to use a particular system for efficiency, for transparency. So I think all of the things that you said are very valid challenges. And it sounds like whenever you're trying to onboard somebody, it does involve a lot of conversation from your side. You will need to run through all of these challenges and how you are able to help them, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we when we start working with the client, we ask them to have realistic expectations, because people they want to go from 0 to 100, right? They literally would not have any base, but they would want to automate so many things. I would say let's do ABC right now, right? And then let's go to the others later. So we ask them to slow down and say it cannot be done. And people always come to us when at the last minute, when there's an audit in place where they have to have things look like it was done perfectly all these days. But migration is a huge task. That's where people also need to understand that data has to be standardized for you to push it into a cloud system. So how many different types of Excel did you have? How are you going to consolidate all that, push the data? So we ask them to have realistic expectation and plan out things in phases, right? Next 3 months, this is what can be achieved. So have this as a target. Otherwise, people come with such expectation. They think, I thought this is going to be done like a lot faster, and so much automation can be done, but automation will come at a pricing. Somebody has to sit and understand your business for you, and then understand the tool, how it can be automated as per your system. So there is a developer involved. So it comes at a cost. So people need to have realistic expectation when it comes to budget and the timing. So that's what we would usually tell them when we onboard any client.
And that's the reason why I wanted to bring you on today, is because the intention of this show is to really get entrepreneurs to think about the long term of their business, right? They're building a company that will last for years and years. And definitely automation and the use of digital tools is a big part of how you want to scale your company and how you can scale it. So when you look at it like that, while it is a daunting prospect, while it comes at a cost, and it requires you time to really think about how you're going to move that data from manual to a proper tool, I do think that it is something that entrepreneurs should have in their roadmap. They should know when they want to do it. What is that tipping point when they need to do it, so that it is not holding them back. And I think today what you've said, you've given us a good perspective of what digital transformation is, what are the benefits of it, and of course what the challenges are, because let's be realistic, let's look at the positives and the negatives of doing anything. I thank you, Kalpana, for a very detailed conversation, and you've given us a lot of insights. And I wish you and 61 Steps all the best for the future.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. You're doing an incredible job. Like I mentioned the other day, I went through some of your other podcasts, and all the insights, I could relate so much with those entrepreneurs. And it was good to know I'm facing similar problems as the rest of the entrepreneurs. It kind of I was too close to not knowing there is a community out there. You're building beautifully. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Kalpana. And I'm sure what you've said today will also resonate with other people, because that's what they're thinking about. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.